You are listening to the East Texas Banner at easttexasbanner.com. We have with us today Jamal Jackson with ProValus. But Jamal, thanks for sitting down with us. We really want to help communicate y'all's vision and what you guys are doing. What is ProValus? Because honestly, I thought it was a telemarketing firm. So you're telling me it's not, and from what I'm seeing, it's not. I worked at a telemarketing firm, so when I get those calls, it feels like karma.
Yes.
And so, but this is not a telemarketing firm.
No, it is not. So first, I just want to start with what does ProValus stand for.
Okay.
So you see PRO, capital V, ALUS, so that's providing value to the U.S.
Okay.
So what we do is we look for underutilized, highly qualified rural communities, and we want to bring services that are being outsourced outside of the U.S. back into the U.S. So you look around, you have thousands of communities who are just struggling.
Sure.
You know, they may have had plants at one time. You know,
Yeah.
They may have had an airport at one time, airport hangar, but all that's gone now.
Right.
You know, so what we do is we want to be able to go into that community and provide jobs to these people who may not want to leave, but
Right.
they had to leave because there were no jobs.
Sure.
They may have grown up in Jasper their entire life,
Right.
but just due to the economics, they had to leave.
Yeah.
They had to support their family. So us coming into Jasper, it's allowing people to, one, stay in Jasper if they graduate, or two, if they did leave Jasper, they can now come back to Jasper and get started with a great company.
Very cool. Very cool. So, as a baseline of what you guys do, the objective is to find rural communities, if I'm hearing you correctly, rural communities that are strapped for jobs, needing jobs here in the area.
Yes.
Now, why would you guys pick a place? Now, I'm not dogging on Jasper, but why would you pick Jasper? First of all,
I'll tell you, Jasper has a ton of highly educated, underutilized people out there.
okay,
So when you think of Jasper, you think of Walmart, Lowe's,
right,
Burger King. You know, nobody would have thought that there would be a IT company in Jasper.
right,
You know, and we chose Jasper simply because of the people.
okay,
If you look outside now, you know, you see a bunch of empty buildings. 5 years ago, those buildings were, you know, emptier,
right,
but now you're starting to see life come back into the community.
sure,
And I may be biased, but I truly feel like that's because of what ProValus has brought into Jasper. And I just want to make it clear that without the partnership with the city, without the help from Jetco, specifically Eddie Hopkins, we wouldn't be here. We were looking at other places to
Okay.
go, but Eddie made it so easy for us to get here. In
Okay.
fact, Eddie is making it easy for us to continue to expand to other rural communities.
nice, very cool, very cool. Okay, so what do you guys do?
So, first, we're not a telemarketing company. Just want
Thank
to
you.
say that again. We do a lot of things. So we are an IT company, but we provide BPO, services to a lot of clients.
What is BPO?
Business processes outsourcing.
Okay,
So we also have cybersecurity. We do customer experience. We do tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 support. We do networking operations. We do a lot under the IT umbrella.
Okay.
I have one of my constituents here who is responsible for the customer experience side of it.
okay,
So it's not just an IT company. You know, we do a lot of different things.
okay,
What we want to do is to allow, people who want to just get started in IT. So you may have someone that's been a truck driver
Yeah.
18 years, but they're like, man, I'm tired of driving on the road. I want to be home with my family. Let me try IT for a second. That's what we do. We bring them in with absolutely zero experience. We put them through a tech foundry. We teach them the basis of IT. And then we put them on a client out there, and then they grow.
Okay.
You know, we also have people who come in with experience. You know, like myself. I came in with some experience. I was a direct hire. But then you also have Miss Corrine here, who came in with no IT experience.
Okay.
Literally started from the bottom and worked her way up.
Okay. All right. What are some of the things you would like the region to know about ProValus?
The main thing is that, you know, we're here to help the community. That's what we want to do. Like, you know, we're not here to cannibalize anything. You know, we're not here to try and push any businesses out. We're here to bring support to the community and bring outside money that otherwise wouldn't be in the community into the community.
Okay. So let me see if I'm understanding this right. You know, I graduated in the lower half of my class, even in the, I guess, the lower quarter of my class. So let me kind of see if I'm catching up with you, right? All right. So you guys, you have companies that y'all work with, right?
Yes.
The companies that you work with pay you to do back office support, IT, and different things along those lines. So the customer service side of things that is normally outsourced overseas,
Correct.
you guys are focused on doing that in America.
Yes.
Okay.
So you have a lot of, like I said, we have a couple of Fortune 500 companies right here in Jasper that we provide 24/7, 365 support for.
Really?
That otherwise would have been in India, Brazil,
Right.
you know, somewhere like that.
Sure.
We want to pull those jobs back. Most importantly, bring them back into the U.S.
Right.
But we're bringing them right back here into Jasper, Texas.
So there's people right now freaking out over the fact that there is, we have Fortune 500 companies in Jasper.
Correct.
That's the first thing. Second thing is this, because of the contracts and the relationships you have to those companies, there's an anonymity
Yes.
and there's a protection. You guys have to protect your client base.
Correct.
And you have to keep them, you can't just put a list out and say, these are who we're working for.
Correct. But what I can say is that these are companies that everybody knows. If you watch TV, if you have a cell phone, you know these companies that we are
Right.
providing a service for
Okay.
right here in Jasper, Texas.
Okay. I'm tripping over the fact that we got two Fortune 5. I know one of the Fortune 500 companies.
Yes.
I think I know one of the Fortune 500 companies. But that's the reason you can't just come out with a list and say, here's who we're dealing with.
Correct.
It's not like there's a conspiracy. You're
No.
not trying to hide nothing.
It's strictly client confidentiality.
Yeah,
you
that
know.
makes complete sense. That makes complete sense. So how many now you guys have been here since what? Yeah, I think construction started on this thing early 2020?
2019.
It's 2019,
Yeah.
end of 19?
Yeah.
Okay. So how many current employees do you have?
We have two locations currently in
In
Jasper.
Jasper?
Yes. We have the main building that everybody knows.
Okay.
Has about 125 employees in it. And then we have a secondary location that houses one of our dental insurance clients that has upwards of 50 in it.
Okay.
So again, these are jobs that single moms, you know, single dads,
Yeah.
married couples are doing that they otherwise wouldn't be able to do,
Right.
you know, without us being here.
Especially with the training. I mean, if you're bringing them from a 0 to 100 on education and that type of thing, and then putting them out here on the floor to be able to take care of a client, that's a big thing. So.
It is. And one thing that I do want to point out, because like I said, I live in Louisiana.
Okay.
You know, I drive here an hour every day, and then I drive an hour home.
Okay.
So the impact that we're bringing doesn't only affect Jasper.
Right.
It's affecting DeRidder, Louisiana.
Sure.
it's affecting Warren, Texas.
Right.
We got people driving from the Lufkin area.
Right.
So the impact economically isn't just centralized to Jasper.
Sure.
It's the entire region.
But you're starting to create a hub with this thing where it's creating a little bit of a vacuum,
Yes.
you know? And so overall, how many employees? It's over a couple hundred, right?
Couple hundred, and
Okay.
we're also looking for additional space to add even more jobs
Okay.
here in Jasper.
Okay. Very cool. Jamal, I appreciate you sitting down with me, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate your
Anytime.
time. Thank you,
Anytime.
buddy. All right, we're sitting down with a Jasper native, Corrine Finucan. Did I get that right?
That's correct.
Hey, man, that's awesome. So you are a delivery
Manager.
manager? Okay.
Correct.
All right, tell us a little bit, because you're a local gal, right?
I am.
And so you started literally from the bottom, worked your way up.
Correct.
Right? So tell us that experience. Tell us what happened.
So May of 2020, that's going to be right in the middle of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole lot of, people being laid off or just jobs just are not working. At the time, I was a dental assistant, but I did temporary dental assisting. Well, all the dentist offices are down at that time.
Right.
Well, then ProValus comes into town. You're hearing it on the radio. I'm seeing it on Facebook, the little ads. And so, my mother had given me a call and said, hey, why don't you give them a call and see what's going on? So my mother works, here in Jasper as well. So I was like, let me do that. So I gave a call, talked to the recruiter, and it sounded exciting. I was like, all right, computers, IT. You know what? I did a little bit of that in high school.
Right.
There was just no way I could do that here in Jasper. I stayed here, had kids, worked for Walmart for years.
Yeah.
So let me go check it out. I'm not doing anything. I'm sitting at the house right now. So let me go check it out. So checked it out. Did a boot camp at that time. Boot camp at that time was unpaid.
Okay.
It is now. We've changed it to a tech foundry, so you get paid during it.
Sure.
But not then. So back then, and that's what a lot of folks are going to remember, is you had to come here and not get paid for weeks at a time.
You gotta have your time invested.
And we were very invested because this is weeks with being not paid, but then we get in. So then I start on a client, and I'm, same thing. I'm taking the phone calls. I'm starting to assist and help, folks. I'm going through the trainings, all of that. And then I had the opportunity to move up into a shift lead position where I'm supporting somebody who's been doing it.
Okay.
And so at that point, I'm like, all right, this is it. And I'm starting to see the growth path here, because that's the biggest part within our small town is you will cap where you're at.
Right.
So
That's true.
You got to be committed, and then you're going to stay there. So you'll find 20, 30 years of somebody being an office manager.
Yeah.
But that's it. Like that's where you're going to hit, right?
Sure.
And so I wasn't done growing yet. And as I get into the company, I can see that the ceiling is so high up there.
Right.
So here I hit shift lead. Then I moved into a team lead. And a team lead, I got one team from a 10 up to like 35. And I was like, okay. Well, then I had the opportunity to move to a bigger client, which is the one I currently have now. We started in 2021. So I was a team lead at that time. Well, it expanded, and it kept expanding. And at that time, I got to move to a team manager. And then from that, I was able to expand it in 2 locations and move up into a delivery manager. In the same time frame, I'm having my journey as I'm growing, but it's happening for everyone else. Obviously, when I move from a team manager or a team lead to a team manager, I have to have another team, lead.
Right.
Well, guess what? That's going to be somebody who started, was an agent, did all the things, moved to a shift lead, from a shift lead, moved to a team lead.
Right.
Like that is every single person on my team has came from ground, moving up. This is development, this is growth, this is a lot of coaching and one-on-ones. I meet with every single one of them every single month to work on a development path for them. And that's what ProValus is bringing. And it's not just my team, it's all across. Because we're bringing in with no experience, we're not just saying, all right, here's the water, just figure out how to swim. We're showing you how to swim, and then we're bringing you back. All right, let's teach you how to dive, right? So we're taking you to the next step, the next step, the next step. And again, that's not just as an agent moving into delivery. It's also in our recruiting. It's also in the front office. It's also from our back office. There's so many other positions. It's a company, but it has that small town feel.
Sure.
And that's the biggest thing within our organization. Like, it is a corporation. You get the corporation benefits. We do have health insurance. We do have vision. We do have dental. We have 401k. We have all of the benefits from a corporate world.
Right.
But it's a hometown feel.
Sure.
Because these are our people. And it's very passionate. We give back. We, donate from here to there.
Right.
Can't list them all in that capacity. We volunteer our time as well because,
Sure.
again, this is our home. It's not, big town, big company coming in, just, basically want to take up space, make some profit and leave. No, we want to make sure that we are supporting. We're teaching you, professionalism. We're teaching you how to do an email professionally. We're teaching how to speak professionally. And you're going to be able to go home and teach that to your kids. And the grandparents are teaching it to their grandkids, And it's a big cycle. And we're going to turn that into more of that happening all the time.
Okay.
So,
very cool. Very cool. So it's kind of been an exciting ride for you.
yes, absolutely.
The last couple of years, I mean, it's, people come out of COVID and they're kind of worried about what, which end is up, right?
Correct.
And so, having the opportunity with ProValus, what do you think one of the overarching things is that you're seeing with, specifically with the types of people who are employed here? And when I say types of people, I'm not talking about stereotypically. I'm talking about, what's the range of people types?
You're not going to believe this, but
Okay.
all types.
Okay.
Literally coming out of high school to some that have been retired forever, some that were in the Army or,
Wow.
yes, we are a number one for veteran. Absolutely, we like to hire for that as well.
Very
so
cool.
it's such a broad,
Yeah.
and I mean, as you have visited our, facilities, it's literally it's all over. And it's going to be some too that, they worked as teachers for years and they just, are in retirement. And, as we all know, retirement really isn't retirement. You're
No.
ready to go back and do something. And here we're providing, all the equipment is provided by us. So you're not having to purchase anything. You get to come in, there's heat when it's cold, there's AC when it's hot, you get a nice comfy chair, you get all the things provided, have your little coffee or your waters and things and sit there, and we teach you how to do everything,
And work the back end world.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
And so,
really.
It's a big range.
Yeah.
I want to say, though, the biggest thing that I think I come across when I'm speaking to a lot of them when we're having our conversations is, I can't believe that I can do this. Like a lot of them, and that's what, when we're in our Tech Foundry or training classes before,
Right.
it's amazing that they're like, I cannot do this. This is a lot of work. But then as they're doing it, it's like, a year ago, this is crazy. This isn't anything I thought I could do. And
Yeah.
now I'm moving to the next level. Like,
Yeah.
I can't wait to hit there. And so that's, I think, is the biggest thing, is that untapped. Like, they just never knew they could. And
Yeah.
we're showing you can. And then years later, you're able to buy a car. You're able to buy a house because now you're invested. You have a career path
Yeah.
in something that just never existed here in Jasper.
Well, see, and that's what's so wild is, I'm not going to sit here and act like it's better than it is. Coming out of high school, now 30 years ago, I knew that the only path for a young fellow like myself who was in the lower quarter of his class was going out here and being a fire watch, at one of the local plants. Yeah, here's your bucket. You squeeze this, stuff comes out of this end, it's that type of deal. So the whole idea of anything technical at that point was just like, this is crazy. It's a whole different world. I remember whenever the rumor came around that we were gonna have phones that we could actually watch videos on, and I was like, what is happening to the? It's like the Jetsons, And so to me, I think it's cool. I think it's cool to watch some folks who, like you're saying, the untapped potential, really kind of realize that, hey, this stuff, just with a little bit of guidance, a little bit of direction, we can get you from point A to point B. So that's very cool, because I'll be honest with you, I would have much rather graduated high school and come into a location that had heat and cool than sit out there on that 5-gallon bucket with a fire extinguisher. So,
Absolutely.
any last things you want to put out here to the public about ProValus, what you guys are providing? Obviously there's there is an economic impact of obviously millions of dollars to the community, even just in the first few years.
Correct.
Right. And but is there anything you want to put out to the public that's just kind of in your mind or in your heart?
I think what's in my mind and what's in my heart is we have a mission.
Okay.
And we're pushing and driving towards that mission every single day. Every one of the leaders that you will speak to, talk to, and all of the additional folks, we are here for the community. We are here for our people. We're here for our community, and we'll work 24/7 to get it there for them.
Very cool.
It's just a very big passion. Again, I graduated here in Jasper. My kids graduated here in Jasper. This would have been a bigger thing for me if it would have been back in the time when I graduated. However, I can make a change for the ones that are graduating now.
Sure.
And so we're just passionate about our mission.
That's awesome. All right, we're sitting down with Travis Holmes. Save the best for last in this process. Travis, appreciate you sitting down with us. You are the corporate facilities manager, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And so with a facility or multiple facilities like you have here in Jasper, you are the guy who basically makes everything happen, right?
I do my best to make everything happen correctly. Yes.
Very
on all
cool.
of our sites.
Okay. So are you local as well?
I'm local. I grew up in Kirbyville. I was born across the square in that building on the corner.
Okay.
Graduated Kirbyville. Moved after college. Went to Dallas for 35 years. Came back.
Okay.
And here I am.
Here you are.
Here I am.
Very cool.
Loving it.
What do you like about your ProValus job, man? What are you liking?
Everything. No day is the same.
Okay.
It could be HVAC one day, paper the next day.
Okay.
And between all 6 sites, it's never boring.
Okay.
Which I enjoy. I'm not a sedentary person.
Okay.
But it's always different, which is wonderful to me.
Okay. So you handle all locations?
All the ProValus sites, yes. I order for the company.
Okay.
From your monthly facility orders to desks. I help design new ones. I'm on the facilities team, so therefore there are certain criteria we have to meet or are looking for the communities that we actually go into.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very cool.
there's nothing that I'm not included in
Okay.
when it comes to facilities and new sites.
Very cool. So how many current sites does ProValus have nationwide?
Currently, right now, our corporate, ProValus corporate, we're under the umbrella of OPS,
Okay.
and right now we have 6.
Okay.
Currently have 6. We have corporate is in Bruton, Alabama. We're here. We have one in Henderson that just started. Manning, South Carolina, Whiteville, North Carolina, as well as plans for many more next year.
Okay.
We're already looking into that to expand different markets.
So this is an expanding venture.
It's building quickly, yes.
Very cool. Very cool.
Our mission, as Corrine stated, is what drew me here.
Okay.
Period. I mean, it's local. Out of all of our sites, we have clients that like to come here into Jasper, Texas, instead of going to Bruton, Alabama.
Really?
Yes. We're different. Every office is different, but we're under the same mission, and we all want the same thing.
But y'all are the coolest, right?
I like to think we are. Yeah. Yes. We are hometown. It's all family here.
Very cool.
Always.
And you guys are working with a number of Fortune 500 companies.
Correct.
Okay. And basically handling all the back end stuff, back office type of stuff, customer service, IT, support, those types of things.
Right.
It's been very eye opening to me, just in the exchange we've had this morning, to sit down and really kind of talk to you guys about the vision, the direction, things like that. It's very, very needed for our young people.
Yes.
And just the unemployed who are wanting to be employed. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And although it's harder and harder to find some of those folks, but I mean, when you put the word out, if somebody wants to come and work, they can come and work.
Exactly.
And you can take them from the bottom to the top.
Exactly.
So what exactly? What do you feel like? What do you feel like you see is ProValus's biggest role in these communities outside of employment?
Outside of employment, community activity.
Okay.
We are involved in the Butterfly Festival. Anytime there's anything for the city, we're across the board. We volunteer for everything. We want to be local. We want to include everyone with us. It's also, we have, it's just that mindset, actually. I mean, even after 35 years in Dallas, I moved back, and I was very fortunate that they were here.
Right.
And I actually learned about this place from my doctor.
Okay.
So, we're community based.
That's cool, because I mean that really kind of fits even more of the idea.
Yeah.
I mean, you're learning this from your doctor, right? So you're learning this in a community setting, maybe, with your doctor, in that exchange with your doctor, you figuring out that this thing even existed or was in the process of coming here, that type of thing. So those, I mean, that's very cool, because it seems like, I've worked for corporations before, and what sucks about corporations a lot of times is you basically become some sort of a number.
You are.
And the expression of the corporation is in the community is very corporate.
Yes.
It's not, hey, there's so-and-so, hey, I grew up with so. It's not that type of a thing normally.
No.
It's very corporate, and it's very structured. Correct. And so, the effect of corporations coming in, which, I mean, I don't know what size company, ProValus is, but
it's large and growing minute by minute.
There you go. So what's one thing that you want the community to know?
Basically, that we are here for everybody.
Okay.
Honestly, we have very, like you were mentioning, corporate, your number, and so forth. I know every name of who's here.
Yeah.
We're very social.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's about. It's about being comfortable doing what you love,
right,
and able to do that.
Yeah.
And that's what we do.
Yeah. That's awesome.
If you don't enjoy coming to work, why would you go to work anyway?
I don't know, but we've been doing it for millennia.
I know.
You know what I mean? I mean, my grandfather worked at the paper mill. Thank God for the paper mill, but worked at the paper mill for 36 years. I asked him point blank. I said, "Man, and I'm in this pie in the sky. I'm being sold. Right?" And I asked my grandfather. I'm like, "Man, do you like your job?" He said, "Man, I've hated this job since day one." And I said, "Why did you do it?" And he said, "You'll understand."
Yeah.
And then I look up, I got 4 kids, and I'm like, "Oh God, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
You get it.
I get it. I understand why the man went to work and went to a job he hated, but now they don't have to.
They don't have to.
They don't have to."
You're only as limited to what you want to do, not what you have to do.
Travis, that's a good statement, sir. That's a good statement. Any last statements you want to make to the community? Reach out.
Just thankful for everything. Reach out to us. If you see me on the street, say, "Hey, how you doing?" Introduce yourself. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
Period. And every person here has that, because that is our mission to do that. And again, if you don't feel comfortable, tell me how I can make you comfortable.
Yeah.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's people and relationships. That's what builds everything, whether people admit it or not. That is what builds a business. It's relationships.
That's what builds customer base. That's what builds everything.
And it makes the community stronger.
That's exactly right. I like the energy of camaraderie with the community.
Oh, I do too.
That's kind of the energy I feel. Right. Is that ProValus is wanting to kind of create this camaraderie with the community to help those who want to utilize the ProValus on-ramp, if you will.
Correct, yes.
And then serve in the community in whatever capacities you find.
Exactly.
So.
That's one thing I really missed while I lived away from here,
right,
is you have your little community where you're at.
Yeah.
However, to me it wasn't fulfilling.
Right.
Because I'm old school.
Right.
But yeah, just reach out. If you have questions, let us know. We're more than happy to tell you exactly what we do, how we do it, and why we think other people would be great at it.
Now, I heard recently that you guys are you guys going to be setting up like tours or something like that?
We have been. We did have one tour.
Okay.
Last month. It's from local business leaders.
Okay.
Actually getting them more involved,
Sure,
seeing what's behind the facade.
Sure.
And yes, we're going to be doing more of that.
Okay.
Also, real quick, we are in partnership with KBMT Channel 12.
Okay.
Hurricane season, Beaumont's I have a sister lives in Vidor. It's bad down there.
Right.
So, like right now, they come here. We have a camera on our rooftop that shows pictures of Jasper. So you can see that on a broadcast. You can go to KBMT
Channel 12.
Channel 12.
Yeah.
Look at that, and you can see from our Skycam.
Very cool.
Yeah, and they come here. They set up when weather's getting bad. We have 2 rooms. We have our cafe downstairs with a training room, and they set up a whole studio, and they can broadcast from here.
Wow.
Yes, it's been great for us.
Yeah.
And also we're a 24/7 facility.
Okay.
So, and we're big on if our employees don't feel safe, going home
Right.
or whatever, we can make accommodations for that.
Wow.
But yeah,
Sky's the limit.
exactly.
Sky's the limit. All you got to do is reach out.
Yeah, if you reach out, we can help you. Otherwise, we don't know about it.
That's exactly right.
Exactly.
Travis, thank you for your time, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, man.